So I know a lot has happened since this game was last played between Inter Miami and Philadelphia Union back in late May. Then head coach Bradley Cornell gets fired after the match. Ryan Richter comes in as the interim coach. A whole bunch of coaching changes from the first team and Union 2 have taken place since this match. But I figured, let's go ahead, delay releasing this video, wait until after the World Cup's coming to an end, get you guys excited for MLS action to start back up, and let's go ahead and recap the action between Miami and Philadelphia. And so we know a crazy thrilling game, 6-4 this one ends in Inter Miami's favor, and the Union get this one started in the third minute with Milan Iloski, who had a big match, as did Frankie Westfield, who we'll talk a lot about in this video. There's going to be two parts on this video, by the way. One looking at the Union's goals scored and chances created, and then a second video we'll look at the chances created and goals scored by Inter Miami, so be sure to check out both videos. But this goal in the third minute, Frankie Westfield, you can see, has the ball on the sideline, taking a throw-in right here, and he'll throw in right here to Kevin Sullivan, who gives it right back to Frankie Westfield, and that's a really good forward pass by Frankie Westfield into Damiani. You can see right there, Damiani draws out two players for Inter Miami, and now that's going to allow Milan Iloski just have a 1v1 opportunity with the Miami defender inside of the box. And I think what's so key about this is it's the pass from Sullivan into Damiani. Damiani goes into Danley, who you can see is just in acres of space here on this play. And we'll go ahead and track the movement by Frankie Westfield. Remember, it starts with Frankie throwing the ball in to Kevin Sullivan. So ball goes into Danley. Danley then finds Kevin, and Kevin plays a great floating ball over the top for Frankie Westfield, who will take a look at that run. And it's a good header for Milan Iloski to finish first time to beat Dane St. Clair there in the third minute. But yeah, this is the exact start that the Union would have wanted against a high-scoring Inter Miami team. We knew coming into this match that Miami, one of the best scoring teams in MLS, if the Union were going to go toe-to-toe with them, they would have to score a ton of goals. And it's what the Union did, but unfortunately for them, they conceded a lot as well. But the movement here on this play is just so key from Westfield. Westfield's going to go ahead and make that underlapping run past Stanley John Jock, because Westfield has one thing in mind. It's, let's go ahead and create overloads. Let's get for it. Let's make it difficult for Miami defensively. They concede goals. They're not the best team defensively. And so the Union get Danley and Westfield both on this side of this play. And what I love about this is you see a similar run once Danley plays this ball back into Kevin Sullivan. It's a similar run from Danley and Westfield. And so because of that, you have two players making runs into the box. It forces one of the center backs for Inter Miami to leave Milan Iloski, because the center back has to pick up either the run from Westfield or Stanley John Jock, and it creates a space you see right there for Milan Iloski. Because the center back leaves his position and creates all this space right here inside the 18-yard box for Milan Iloski, and it's a perfect header there from Frankie Westfield. It's a really good finish there by Iloski, first time in a difficult position to get a goal. Not the greatest goalkeeping by any means here by Dane St. Clair. Has to try to get a touch on that if you're an Inter Miami fan. That's how you're feeling. But yeah, it's great movement here by Frankie Westfield. Sets this whole play up for the Union with his movement, and Frankie had himself a day in the offense for the Philadelphia Union. Once again, for the Philadelphia Union, it is Frankie Westfield and Milan Iloski combining for the second goal in this match. This one comes courtesy by a penalty kick for Iloski in the 10th minute. And so you see Frankie just play this ball forward, play in between the two defenders for Milan, gets there before Dane St. Clair, and tries to lift the ball over his head, and Dane St. Clair takes him out. There was controversy. Is it inside the box, outside the box? Eventually, a penalty was given. But we'll go ahead and take a look at that play, that ball played once again by Frankie over the top for Iloski. It's a great run for Milan, who I would argue is probably the Union's best striker right now in this moment for making those runs in behind. It's something that former head coach, I should say, Bradley Cornell, had always talked about wanting more runs in behind by the Union players. Milan gave the Union exactly that here that led to the penalty kick. But again, I told you guys in the last clip, Frank Westfield had a big match offensively for Philadelphia, and it leads to this penalty kick for Milan Iloski. You can see just great vision, no question. Is he onside or not? Definitely onside right there. Great time run there by Milan and lifts it over. Is that one going in? Hard to tell, but definitely taken down. And then Iloski is going to score his first of two penalties right here, sends Dane Sinclair the opposite way. Union go up 2-0, and it's a dream start for the Union against Miami. So at this point, it's still Philadelphia in the lead 2-1 after they had just conceded a goal to Miami with Berterame. And we'll see right here, Union's press plays a big part into why they get this third goal in this match. And so you're going to see pressure from Jovan Lukic and Milan Iloski on Rodrigo De Paul. And once the Union win that ball back, it's 5 passes that eventually lead from a shot from Frankie Westfield. Exactly what Bradley Cornell had been preaching his whole time in Philadelphia. It's quickly win the ball back in the opposition's half, as little passes as possible. Within 10 seconds, take a shot. Union had 5 passes after winning this ball back in Miami's half. And so you'll see the first pressure right there from Lukic, and it forces a wide touch from DePaul where Milan can just go ahead and pick that out. And now the Union can send numbers forward. And so defensively for Miami, Ian Frey has to jog back, was pushing out wide right on the right side of the field. And so now you have Yannick Bright, one of the 2 defensive midfielders, having to drop back defensively. Lujan, one of the 2 center backs, now is out wide with Ben Bender, who played left back in this match. And that leaves Yannick Bright marking 2 guys for the Union. Does he mark Jovan Lukic? Does he mark Bruno Damiani? Which then allows Kevin Sullivan to also run 3 between Bright and Mikel, who's 1v1 against Anello. And so Ben Bender, terrific ball right here to play it into Kevin Sullivan. And now Kevin just bringing guys out of line, out of position. And so Yannick Bright has him right here, forces Kevin out wide, and this is a great bit of skill by Kevin to create space, dribbles past multiple players, and places out wide. And once again, we're going to see Frankie Westfield once again involved for the Union. Touch, shot, 5 passes right there, and Dane Sinclair had a horrible first half for Inter Miami in this game. Spills the ball, not what you want to see from your goalkeeper. And Bruno Damiani gets a goal that you want to see your center forward score. Inside that 6-yard box, easy tap and easy goal for Bruno Damiani, but it comes from the Union turning over into Miami in their half. It comes with a good bit of skill right here from Kevin Sullivan. Just a good pass, 2 players right there, great dribbling. He still goes, lifts his head, finds Stanley, who does so well, by the way, to get that pass off of his foot. Gets closed down very quickly, finds Anello, and now Anello has to reset and go out wide. It's a pass that's behind Frankie Westfield, but Frankie not closed down, makes that forward run after Inter Miami scrambling, trying to get set defensively. And that's what I love right there, is just the quick passing between Danley and Anello. And Anello actually gets shut down, closed down pretty quickly here by Miami. You can see the Union just trying to get players forward. They have 4 players inside that 18-yard box, or just about. And so Anello has to quickly lift his head, and it's a clever run by Frankie Westfield. Sees that it's congested as all can be right there in the center of that 18, in center of that arch. And so Nello sees the forward run by Frankie, slows down his run just enough, and it's a great service in there by Frankie and easy tap in there by Damiani. But Frankie Westfield, Inter Miami had no answer for it down the right side of the field. Very active on the night, especially in the first half, and contributes to the first 3 Union goals in this match. So the last goal for the Union in this match comes to tie it up 4-4. It's a handball by Sergio Reguilon, with Kevin Sullivan earning the penalty for the Union. And, it's pretty clear here from this angle that, Kevin's trying to play this ball back, and it's an outstretched arm there by the fullback. Clearly hits him, clearly stops the momentum of the ball. That's as clear as can be, and Union catch a break. Milan Iloski once again sending Dane St. Clair the opposite way, goes the same side that he scored his first penalty, ties this game up at 4 apiece. So, like I mentioned, that is it for the Union's goals. All 4 of them came in the first half. Insane game between these two teams. But there were also a lot of chances that the Union did not capitalize on, a lot of chances that could have put the Union up, could have tied the game up. A lot of missed opportunities for the Union in this match, which is crazy to say, despite them scoring 4 goals. And we'll take a look right here. So, Miami, they get closed down there by the Union. Now they're going to reset all the way back to Dane St. Clair. Dane St. Clair goes out wide to Lujan, who gets closed down here by Bruno Damiani, putting the pressure on. And now, Miami, with plenty of numbers for it, it allows a 3v1 situation at first with Anello, Iloski, and Kevin Sullivan. You see it right there with Anello leading the line. Dane St. Clair having to backpedal back, knows that this is trouble after his team just turned the ball over inside their own half of the field. And Anello has options. You can see Kevin Sullivan out wide there with his arms lifted, wants the pass played into him, well ahead of his mark. You see Iloski also in some space, wanting that pass, and Dane St. Clair is leaving his net, trying to close this down as quick as possible. But if you look at the angle, that's a lot of goal to shoot for, to put on target for Anello at the near post, and opts for the shot right there, gets closed down. But Kevin and Milan both wanted that pass. Both of them thought they had an opportunity, thought they had a potential of having a wide open goal if Anello can get the pass. Does not opt to pass it, and it's a missed opportunity there for the Union to take a 4-3 lead. But then we move on here for the Union to tie it up 4-4. It's a ball played in for Anello once again, and again, Miami kind of out of position defensively. You see Iloski running free into the box. You see Damiani making that run towards the back post right here, and Anello dribbles past a player, and you have Damiani crashing in towards the center of the goal. Once again, Milan Iloski wide open here on this play and opts for the shot right there, and that's a huge wasted opportunity for the Union. But now, Miami, they break on the counterattack. You see it's 3 players for Miami against 4 against the Union. And Messi receives this pass right here, going to turn Gainer Martinez way too easily, turns him. But then to his credit, he catches up to Messi and closes this down. And the ball goes back to Messi. Nathan Harrier puts pressure on, wins the ball back, and now the Union can break on the counterattack. Wild game this was, guys. And now the Union, quick passing between Milan Iloski, Kevin Sullivan. They have numbers going for it. You have Damiani, you have Anello, and then you have Iloski and Kevin. A 4v3 situation against Inter Miami. Lots of space here, and you can see nobody closing down Kevin Sullivan. He's going to continue to take that space because both defenders marking their guys. Milan Iloski trying to make that overlapping run so Kevin can play the ball into. Eventually does, and Iloski has the chance to hit that first time. There is a good save by Dane St. Clair, but wild stuff there on the counterattack for both teams. Neither team score on that opportunity. And so we see a ball lifted for the Union. And again, I talked about it plenty of times in this video. Defensively, into Miami, very, very suspect. It's not the greatest clearance away for Anello, and plays this ball in. How Gainer Martinez misses that, that's a huge wasted opportunity that Martinez misses. It's a poor clearance here. Anello quick to react and plays this ball straight for Gainer. Have to put that on target. Have to send the Union into the breakup 5-4. But it's a huge wasted opportunity. And so we look at second chances for the Union in the second half. It's a header easily saved there by Dane St. Clair from Alejandro Bedoya. And I'll look at it once again because this is the opportunity. This is the spaces where you want to see the Union getting crosses in. And once again, you see they actually do have the number advantage in Miami's box, 3v2. And it's a great ball floated in for Bedoya, but it's unable to test Dane St. Clair there and make that any more troubling. Miami up 5-4 on this point, and the Union have a chance once again to tie this up late to make it 5-5. Iloski does well to get a shot from distance, which he's so good at, and it's a great save there from St. Clair, who was suspect, and it's a good ball forward by Ben Bender. And Iloski, I have no issue with this shot cutting inside. We've seen him do it plenty of times. We've seen him score from this distance, and is able to free himself up, forces the stab, and it's a really good save there by Dane St. Clair. Maybe Iloski could have tested him a little bit better.